Something on your mind? Used to be they raided northeast of Caliente time to time. But then the Desert Rangers fell apart 10 years ago, absorbed into the NCR. Soon enough, the Whitelegs were swarming all over that stretch of I-15. Folks learned not to head north if they wanted to keep their scalps. Eventually, the Whitelegs destroyed the bridges across the Virgin River over in Arizona. End of discussion.
The fiends are scary because they're unpredictable. One day, they'll be taking pot shots at you and then running off before you can shoot back. And the next day, they'll come rushing at you pumped full of drugs and not stopping until you or they are dead. Current orders are to hold the line and nothing more. That's all we seem to do these days. Hold the line. I guess it's a tricky situation since there's a vault in fiend territory. If the NCR went after them, they'd just hole up.
Well, it ain't good, I'll tell you that. It's not like the Mojave or the NCR. Hell, even Arizona under Caesar is safer. You got raiders all over the damn place. Tribes of degenerates that'll eat you as soon as look at you. Regional warlords, the works. Not too many decent places to stop and trade. New Canaan's one of the only ones left I know about. They're about what you'd expect. Crazy, jacked up on chems, violent as hell, and not too bright. The worst of the 80s, but we won't be passing through their turf on this run. That's right. The folks that lived in Zion before the war, they didn't just get a little savage. They're downright feral. Most of them don't even speak English anymore. You got to get yourself a new Canaanite translator to talk to them. The ones you really gotta watch out for are the Whitelegs from the Great Salt Lake. They'll attack just about anyone that ain't one of theirs. Dangerous enough we won't be going near them if we can help it. I got no desire for my head to decorate some little gas station fort's walls, thanks.
Something on your mind? Used to be they raided northeast of Caliente time to time. But then the Desert Rangers fell apart 10 years ago, absorbed into the NCR. Soon enough, the Whitelegs were swarming all over that stretch of I-15. Folks learned not to head north if they wanted to keep their scalps. Eventually, the Whitelegs destroyed the bridges across the Virgin River over in Arizona. End of discussion.
Whitelegs. Nasty bunch. They've been raiding deeper into Zion ever since New Canaan was wiped out. That's what Joshua said. Whitelegs came down from Great Salt Lake in force, fell on New Canaan before they could mount a defense. Joshua found some of the survivors led by a man named Daniel. Most of them have fled the valley, but Daniel stayed on with the Sorrows tribe. He and Joshua have been arguing over whether to stand and fight the Whitelegs, or take the Sorrows and the dead horses out of the valley. That's the weird part. Normally the Whitelegs keep to the Great Salt Lake. I don't know what brought them down this far south. What can I tell you? Our advanced scouts leave chalk signs to mark places rich with game. I'm not a full scout yet, so I follow the marks and guide the hunters. Dead horses mark ourselves to commemorate our hunts. When a hunter takes a great beast, or when a youth goes on his first hunt, he gets a tattoo. We came up in the land of the dead horse, though why the back when folks called it that, I got no hint. We raided, we fought, we lost. Our enemies drove us back into Zion, and we would have died if it hadn't been for Joshua. Joshua and his Caesar. We decorate our clubs with them to honor Joshua Graham. They were the weapons of his old tribe, so now they are ours. Can't say they seem that dangerous to me. But Joshua says they won the West. Well, because they're our enemies. What else would we do? They take our land, they kill our scouts, they poach our hunting grounds.
Normally, we would have some of the dead horses or sorrows look for them. But many pre-war buildings in the valley are taboo. They won't go inside. We are responsible for leading and protecting the sorrows and dead horses. They are smart people, but not as worldly as you or I. I am preparing the dead horses for war, and Daniel is preparing the sorrows for other things. I am a New Canaanite. We believe we are the heirs of a spiritual tradition given to our ancestors thousands of years ago. We have made and kept covenants with our Lord God to honor his laws. In exchange, we are promised eternal salvation after this life. A day will come when our Lord returns to judge us all. Until then, we must honor his laws and start others along the path of salvation if we can. That's why we trade with others and work the tribes. We have more than food and medicine to offer. Good news is our most valuable commodity. In the Great Basin and Colorado Plateau, all tribes are known for a specific weapon. Whitelegs are known for their big submachine guns, storm drums. They broke into an armory near Spanish Fork and have been using them for years. Of course, the dead horses have their wooden war clubs, and even the sorrows have their Yao Guai gauntlets. This type of .45 automatic pistol was designed by one of my tribe almost 400 years ago. Learning its use is a New Canaanite rite of passage. I wouldn't say that. I am the acting war chief for the dead horses. They look up to me for such matters, but I only have the authority they give me. Daniel is the spiritual leader and main link of the New Canaanites to the sorrows. He's up in the Narrows right now. A great deal. There are 3, make that 4, tribes here in Zion. You've already met the Whitelegs on the way in. In this camp, you'll find dead horses. In the Narrows, the sorrows. And finally, there's Daniel and myself. We're New Canaanites. The valley belongs to God, but no. The dead horses live at Dead Horse Point, up the Colorado River. They came here because I asked them to. Before I returned to the fold, I visited them years earlier. I looked much different then, but I left an impression on them. I taught them how to hunt more efficiently, how to maintain their weapons and pre-war equipment. When I returned, they showed their appreciation. The Sorrows have many skilled hunters among them, but no warriors. They have not had to deal with war or raiders for decades. Even though they can hunt a full-grown Yao Guai, they don't know how to deal with the Whitelegs. That's why we're here. We wear more clothing than them and understand more about technology, but we're still a tribe, a linked family of families. The Boneyard, Phoenix, New Vegas, they're just places, metal and stone. New Canaan dies, but the tribe lives on. When the walls come tumbling down, when you lose everything you have, you always have family. And your family always has tribe. Let me have a look. My tribe may take too much pride in its mechanical talents, but in truth, we are intrigued by the workings of a fine firearm.
Best place to look for back when stuff is the taboo places. Sorrows and dead horses don't go in there, and even Whitelegs don't like them much. Lots of them around the valley. Places built by the folk from back when. You'll know them when you see them. Scouts mark them with handprints. The handprints are a warning to keep out. Angry ghosts live inside. Not that I believe in angry ghosts. They're just spooky old places, right? Lots of back when places to choose from, but for the things we need, best to start with the really closed-up places. 3 I know of. A building down by the river called a fishing lodge, the old ranger station in the northwest, and the general store right by it. Closer to home might be something you can salvage from the place where the little ones fell, just west of the Eastern Virgin. In the river, there's a twisted pile of metal and glass, all full of bones. Joshua says they were scouts, but they looked awful small to me. Lots of that old stuff, how do you say it, electronics. Maybe you could use some of it. Ask away.
A Sorrow's Yaoguai fist is a sacred symbol. It shows that we belong to the tribe and have willingly undertaken a dangerous quest to aid the tribe. Each Sorrow makes his own, and only after hunting and slaying a Yaoguai that threatened our people. Our shaman, Whitebird, oversees the rites. Perhaps if you spoke to him, he would allow you to undertake such a quest. Waking Cloud is my name. I am midwife to the Sorrows. It sounds ill-omened, no? Midwife to Sorrows. The children and the old have already been evacuated from the camp. They are safe enough, unless the Whitelegs come for us in force. I tend to other hurts and sicknesses that afflict our tribe. I also scout the valley for the herbs I use in my medicines. What would you speak of? Daniel is a wise man and a great friend to the Sorrows. He taught me to speak the language of New Canaan, the English from the holy books. Yes, the language of the New Canaanites is the holy tongue, for it is the language their sacred books are written in. The Father in the caves brought it to them after the judgment. But the ancestors of the Sorrows sinned against him. They were denied the true tongue. 6 years. He attended the birth of my 3rd child. It was a hard birth. The river nearly carried my water to the Father, and my child's with it. Daniel knew the ways of New Canaan's medicine. He stepped in and saved both of our lives. After the birth, I asked Daniel if he would teach me what he knew of childbirth. He agreed, and so here I am. What would you speak of? We have dwelt in the Narrows since the end that came in fire, when the Father in the caves punished the world and made us forget the holy tongue. We have had good relations with the other tribes in the valley, at least before Salt Upon Wounds brought his Whitelegs here. We have Daniel to thank for our continued existence. His advice and help has kept the Whitelegs from overrunning us so far. I do not know how long even he can protect us, though. He is war chief of the Whitelegs, and the worst butcher of them all. The tribes he has crushed are many. The warriors he has slain, countless. Have you not heard of the God of the New Canaanites? He is our protector and our judge. He helped our ancestors find their place here in Zion. He gave us many gifts, but we are not to seek him out. His caves are forbidden to us. Those who seek them out are taken from us. Perhaps you do not fully understand the New Canaanites. I have seen the Father's images. His holy bride and holy son were given unto the world to save it. They dwelt in the caverns of the mountains, caverns which can still be seen today. The people sinned against him and were punished with the end that came in fire and the loss of the holy tongue. Only the New Canaanites were spared. I'm sure Daniel could tell you more. His knowledge of the Father is greater than my own. Then I will look forward to our next speaking. Greetings and blessings to you. Daniel still awaits you. Then I will look forward to our next...
The dead horses told me details about the attack on your caravan. A stranger's sympathy might not count for much, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry. The Sorrows will mourn your friends too. They mourn everyone, even the Whitelegs. They have sensitive souls. Innocent, if there is such a thing. In spite of what's happened, I hope that Joshua and I can help you out of here. But to be frank, we need your help too. I used to help the Sorrows with various medical problems and general issues they were having, but my bishop sent me here as a missionary. We New Canaanites believe that there is a path to salvation for everyone, and it's important that we set people on that path if they are willing. I'm trying to make amends for allowing our problem to become their problem. The New Canaanites, I mean. The Whitelegs have always fought with us. And with Joshua returning, Caesar has motivated the Whitelegs to stamp out the New Canaanites entirely. That means the tribes we work with, too. It's already happened. I just want to prevent something terrible from happening to the Sorrows. Yes, but not just Whitelegs. Raiders, too. Prospectors, slavers, anyone who thinks they can exploit the ignorant and the innocent. We lost the Tar Walkers and the Crazy Horns. We did our best, but we made mistakes. We paid for them, but they paid more. I'd like to get out from under that debt someday. Until then, it's enough to stop ourselves from getting deeper in the hole. To remove the Sorrows from harm's way. I have to give credit to the Whitelegs for finding their way here, though I imagine many died in the process. But they can't follow us east, not into the Grand Staircase. They don't know how to live off the land. We head there, we can find some safety. Of course. There's an old saying that goes, if you want peace, get ready for war. You've got me figured half right. I'll shoot dead any Whiteleg that tries to creep into this camp. But it's only to protect the Sorrows. The Lord helps those who help themselves. But the Sorrows don't know how. Joshua and I do. Since I got them into this mess, I need to get them out. There is an important difference between killing in defense and waging war. Even a Gentile like you should know that. They're hateful savages who live only to plunder and destroy. Their leader is a devil called Salt Upon Wounds. War is all he knows. Everything he has, everything that tribe has, was taken by force, raiding, and scavenging. It's said there's no man deadlier at close range, that power fist of his has smashed 100 skulls. Maybe that's true, but so what? It's a low form of leadership. A tribe that knows only war has no future. And so he'll lead them to Caesar. Father in the... Oh, right. He's some spirit the Sorrows used to believe in. Watched over them from the caves in the valley. They marked some of the caves around here because they think they'll be punished for going inside. I think as more of them learn the teachings of the New Canaanites, they'll lose their old superstitions. Oh? Oh. Of course. How stupid of me. They probably also think Mary is the mother and Jesus is the child. No wonder they picked up on things so easily. I guess it just goes to show how difficult it is to communicate sometimes. A spiritual wasteland, yes. We believe that before this life, our souls existed elsewhere. And after we die, our souls will leave this world. During our time here, we have the burden of choice. The choices we make determine where we go in the spirit world and how we will face judgment. New Canaanites believe, as many once did, that God was made flesh here on earth as a man named Jesus Christ. He sacrificed his life to save us. Every sin, every terrible thing that you, me, or any one of us have done for all time was washed away by his blood. We just have to accept his love. That's why we visit the tribes, to spread the good news. For all we know, we New Canaanites may be all that remains of Christ's followers. We teach them practical skills for this life, and we prepare them for what's to come. The Sorrows could master all the wonders of the old world, conquer the Great Basin north to south. But without God's love, they would have nothing. It is shelter in the storm, food in times of hunger, warmth and light in the cold and darkness. What can compare to that in value and versatility? You don't agree. That's your choice. It can be their choice, too. No one is forced to follow the narrow path. Yeah, Bishop Mordecai is... Sorry. Mordecai was my bishop. He was killed by Whitelegs during the attack on New Canaan. He was responsible for our congregation there. I don't know who my next bishop will be, but that's a problem for tomorrow. There are plenty of troubles here for us today. We lost it. Our community, everything. But the past is gone. We have to look forward. True enough. We can't escape it no matter how hard we try. Best we can do is own up. Trust in the Lord to forgive. Joshua was gone. So were a lot of the other New Canaanites. Whitelegs must have been watching for a long while, counting who remained. We didn't think the Whitelegs were a real threat. Maybe it was overconfidence. Maybe sloth. Either way, we didn't see them coming. They attacked at night. They killed without regard to age or infirmity, armed or unarmed. They beat children to beat them to death in their beds while they were sleeping. And now we're all that's left. Maybe 30 of us. Pride goeth before destruction. I'd like you to drop it. It's a private matter. I never thought I'd be in charge of anything. Don't know why. Bishop Mordecai was old. He had been sick for years. He couldn't walk anymore. It wasn't a problem for the rest of us. He made it out to be more trouble than it really was. Just his way, I guess. When the Whitelegs came, he was upstairs. We couldn't get him out in time. The house caught fire at the base and worked its way up. Fast. He didn't die of smoke. I wish he had. Sometimes I wake up and for a minute or two I think all of it was a dream. But it's not. It wasn't. I wish all of this were some fevered vision of what could have been, instead of what is, what we let happen.